Anyways, welcome back to another edition of 1911 Syndicate. What are we talking about today, Jake?
Part 2.
Part 2 of?
The B&T SPC9. Austin has the longest name for a firearm I've ever seen. This is the B&T SPC9 PDW SD. Yes.
Does SPC stand for something?
Yes.
Special purpose carbine?
Yes.
Yep. We didn't say that in the first episode.
It was in my damn notes and I forgot it.
You're welcome.
You distracted me, jackass. Just sitting there.
I just helped
looking
you
at me and you distracted me.
It's my fault.
Yes.
You dumb motherfucker, dude.
Or his. He's got a bad attitude behind the camera all day.
Asleep. It's Crispy's fault.
Jackass.
I'm fine.
Who do we got to talk about? Let's get
So before we jump into the whole long name of the gun there, couple special thank you. Shooting Surplus sponsoring the video. They've got a lot of B&T stuff that they carry. They will be carrying these. I don't know what models they will have at any particular moment in time. I know at the time of filming this, they do have some, but just check, just look at the B&T tab on their site. They've got another B&T tab that's on the homepage with like products they carry from B&T that are like $300 off, so get some good deals there.
Cool.
Or use the code 1911, knocks off 5% of the cost, whatever you get. All these would ship for free because they're above $250. So, hey, go get your deals. Go get your deals, kids.
Ammo, US Brass House. As always, 2 codes, 1911 and Syndicate. We'll save you $40 off a case of ammo. Appreciate the guys over there. And that's, yeah, all we shot was almost all US Brass House ammo.
Yeah, minus some random 165s today.
Yep.
So let's talk a little about that SD.
Let's start at the top. I mean, this is an actual purist SD, and what I mean by that is that SD guns, when you look back in time, like say the MP5 SD, those were all ported barrel, and the actual benefit to an SD gun like this is taking your regular 124, 115 grain, making it subsonic, the gun doing the work for you. You can go buy that nice, plentiful, cheap ammunition, and the gun makes it SD. And so this guy's running a 4.5-inch barrel, and then we've only got 4 baffles in here in this kind of RBS style flow. I call it flow by silencer, so kind of a hybrid. And with that SD, it's super, super nice. I mean, you guys had a chance to shoot it today.
It sounds fantastic.
Does SD stand for anything?
I want to say suppressor driven, but don't quote me on that.
Okay. You're probably right. I've just always been curious about that.
It sounds fantastic.
Yeah, suppressor driven. So I like that.
No, I meant the gun sounds fantastic.
The gun sounds phenomenal, and like you alluded just a couple of baffles in that suppressor 4, correct?
That's, if I remember correctly, there are only 4 baffles in this can, and it is an interesting shaped can. It tucks all the way underneath the handguard and then actually indexes right in front of the barrel itself.
It threads on.
Yeah, it threads all the way on. So
unthread it, just so people can see what that can looks like. We'll be doing the next sort of video in this series will be on the RBS 9mm.
You know,
it's for this.
Yeah, it's for
exclusively.
This exactly. So this is just an expansion chamber, and then your baffles start here at the end. So your barrel is actually slightly recessed. I know in Jake's last video, he was saying probably about 1/8 of an inch the barrel's recessed. On this one, I'd say it's about 1/2 an inch recessed.
Yeah.
But still the same barrel length.
Yeah.
And then you've got 2 ports. So down at the bottom of the barrel, and that's where you're shaving off. So you are going to shave off some muzzle velocity. Now, because of this, you do not need to run subs through it.
No.
It's actually
a waste of
kind
money.
It's a losing battle. We shot some subs today, and you might be able to tell a difference listening to it go down range, but essentially at the ear, you're going to be getting the same sound.
Yeah, actually. About this in our calls with B&T, just kind of learning about the lineup and trying to get data and stuff. I originally thought this gun was going to be a lot louder than it is.
Yeah, they kind of alluded to the fact that they were like, it's not going to be that quiet, like
bracing us for
it's like, And look, it's not the quietest SD you're ever gonna shoot. Now, with that being said, this gun comes in at, I believe, 21¼ inches long. It is very, very small. So you could run it underneath your arm and really it's gonna go to about my waist. So heavy coat, something like that, single point sling, it's gonna be nice and tucked away. And it's really designed for that SWAT team, you know, special application.
Yeah.
That being said, it's a civilian legal gun. It is a 2-stamp gun in this configuration, but it is very, very cool. Now there is this one, and then there is the regular SD, which is a little bit longer. So you kind of pick your poison, but there's something cool about sort of a K style config, if you will.
Yeah.
I love a compact PDW. So, you know, I just do, you know.
Yeah, and it's really, I mean, now with the SPCs, as we talked about in the last video, they do have this, you know, buffer system in the rear. And so it's gonna be overall a little bit longer, but not much. Like, you know, like, and with the parts interchangeability with the APC, I mean, I really have a hard time. I mean, I love the APC, but the SPC sounds so good with the can.
Yeah.
With that buffer system in place.
Yeah, yeah. Price tag on that?
The price tag on this, I believe, is $32.48.
Freaking nailed it, $32.48. He knows his shit, everyone.
Are you kidding me? Dang, nailed it.
Well, can and gun included, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you think about it and you go,
that.
okay, mine's $2,500. You tack on really about $700 for your can. You go, yeah, it's all about right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's gonna come as a package. So it's, well, sort of a package. It's gonna come with a sling, come with a can. It's not gonna come with this vertical foregrip, but we would highly recommend that. And honestly, if you buy one of these, you should probably just get the actual sweet B&T aim point mount and put your favorite flavor aim point on there.
Yeah, I can tell you, I was trying to get an acro and just didn't get one in time, but I have a, bear with me for a moment, everyone. Ha, it was handy.
Ooh.
So there is a new B&T 193 mount for the acro. So that, no one's really seen these yet. This is exclusive breaking news on
this is the only one in the
channel.
country at this point.
Yeah, these are few and far between right now. They're gonna be coming in, but like this is definitely an early thing, and just didn't have an acro to throw it on, unfortunately. But I think yours is roughly like a 1.5. Your mount height. I think it's like 1.5,
yeah,
something like that.
39 millimeter.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
an
think
absolute.
on,
You
motherfucker.
think I know what that means?
You know what that means, kids? That means absolute co-witness with your regular iron sights.
What, can you do the inch conversion for me on that?
Yeah, 1.5.
It's about 1.5? Okay, yeah. So these are 193s, which is the height mount that I'm running on my gun. I like 193s all day.
What's
What?
193 in millimeters?
193 in millimeters?
I think it's 50 something.
Yeah.
52 millimeters.
Yeah.
Money.
Jake can read, not do math.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I knew the answer. I knew the answer. Let's talk a little on velocity.
Yeah. So I put a magneto speed on both guns, and we're getting about average 200 feet a second drop off in between those two. So on the low end, your 115 grain on Jake's gun is going to be in that 1300 range, and we're just barely into the 1300s, and this is going to be, I think the average is about 1060. That being said, I'm going to publish all the numbers that we got in the article for
Cool.
TFB.
Yeah, we've gotten, that should be linked below as long as I did my job properly when I was writing the description for this. But yeah, it was actually quite fascinating, especially to see how slow some rounds are moving at. It's pretty mind-blowing, actually.
Slow enough you can see them with your naked eye.
Yeah, in the right lighting conditions, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, we threw some 165s out at distance, and it's they're like heavy paintballs. So you don't need those kids.
You
Yeah.
can like hear them going through the air.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no
yeah,
doubt.
that's cool.
One of the other things we'll cut away and show you right now is there would be an argument some people would have, even though I think it's just a dumb argument, but they're gonna be like, well, is it accurate? And because there are guns in the subgun world that have come out where there's been reports of accuracy problems. In some cases, pretty substantial problems that cause the guns not to really be around anymore. So I think it's something that people fairly can expect to learn about that. So we will show you a little bit in terms of accuracy. Okay guys, so one of the arguments with subguns is of course, well, how accurate are they? So both of our guns are 0 to 25. Yours is on 115. Yep. This is 124. Mine's 0 to 124. I'm shooting 124, but they're both 0 to 25. So we're just gonna shoot. They are about, Chris, what are those black dots? About 2 inches, you think?
Yep.
Yeah, so about 2-inch circles at 25, just to kind of show you how the grouping is on these guns. So I'll run first. And really, prone is not gonna work, so we're gonna have to do our best with what we got here, which is gonna be a little try sitting. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot left because I can see it better. So that's a dot I was going for. That's clearly 1. So I shot 4 rounds. That's probably the 4th. Chances are that's windy conditions on a 4.5-inch barrel, seated. Not the best, not nearly as good as prone, but I mean, again, if we're going to debate, are they accurate? I mean, at the very least, we should be able to agree on that. Like, you know, non-argument.
You want to throw a couple rounds?
Oh, like this. See?
All right, upper right circle.
Yeah.
About the same group as you.
Yeah. So, from non-ideal conditions, that's, again though, I mean, that's all within a head box.
Yeah.
I mean, that's within a A-zone head box.
Uh-huh.
So same thing at what would be a more realistic distance this weapon would be used at, which would be 10 yards, which would be like a hallway.
That guy is so quiet.
I see.
You see all 3 of those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the bottom edge of the way.
Yep. But I was holding here, group is here. Jake, you're probably
Top of the dot.
top of dot, holding here.
4
all
rounds.
4 of your rounds.
Just center hold, all
Yep.
4, stack right below. I mean, if we'd stretched it out a little bit, I feel like they'd ease in, but I mean, wind knocks you around a little bit in these conditions, but once you can do that, I mean,
It's a non-argument.
It's a non.
All right, so let's talk about setting up your guns. On little PDW style weapons like this, there are just nuanced things. You have limited real estate. It's kind of what it is. You know, it's like you don't have a lot of space.
Yep.
So in terms of how you set these up, it really, if we can save you a little bit of time in ordering things that you realized didn't work or you didn't need, then hey, that's part of the gig here. So let's kind of talk setups.
really quick, something we didn't talk about before this, and I just noticed this today. If you get up to about your 3rd mag on these, vertical foregrip is really where it's going to be. It's going to be the cat's pajamas for you, because this little rail is going to start to get kind of warm, and honestly, these do a great job. These little B&T vertical foregrips are a great spot.
Yes, so I started off without it. These come with a little, it looks like it's almost like a finger stop that comes right here. And then you realize it's actually a 2-point sling attachment.
Yeah.
So you can clip in a snap hook.
Yep.
To talk, I guess, a little bit about slings while we're at it. So
APCs come with that too.
yeah. So these come with what I think is a very smart way to design or to attach slings on these. So it's basically a QD mount that they throw at the back of these that clips into that little QD slot. So you could throw in a QD here. You could do that.
Yep.
And these will also take a QD. I don't know if you fucked with that at all, but they do.
A little bit, but yeah.
So you can run snap hooks, you can run QDs. I can tell you what I've been running is Sly Tactical makes, it's not that it's a dedicated sub sling, but it was how we designed this. I've run these things for a couple years now. They're solid. I like snap hooks on sub guns. It just feels appropriate and classic and kind of awesome. But you could run a QD into this. But basically it's a universal, whether you're lefty or righty, attachment point where you can just clip in. These are easier to run as a single point than a 2-point because the grip really winds up mattering. I originally had it off, and then we got them and I threw it on, and I was like, man, you've got just enough space for your hand without hitting that can to still be able to run a light.
Yep.
And that's probably the trickiest part about these that people run into is the lights.
Yep. And the single point sling is a great way to go because you could run a sling up front, but it's just going to get in the way because you're going to want that forward control there. Yep. You wouldn't want to switch sides because that's going to get in the way with your light.
Yeah.
And so there's really not a good spot there. And this one in particular, not flagging anybody, but this one in particular, I mean, if you imagine that, like, there's no other spot for another, you know, a first point where you're going to benefit from.
No.
And so I think single point is the way to go for these. Now, that being said, you do have options to go up front if you wanted to.
So if we look kind of like handguard forward, here's how, I mean, ours are actually set up identical, minus what kind of light it is. But basically, here's how I look at it. If you get rid of if you add the vert grip, you could start to run lights on M-LOK, or you could start to utilize the M-LOK, right? Because my grip's gonna be existing here. Yep. If you get rid of the vert grip, now my hand has to exist on the handguard, which means I have to run everything from the top rail. So sort of the light setup that we both got is a Gen 1 mod button, okay? So that's just a Gen 1, not the Gen 2. The Gen 1 has the light mount built into it, right? So Gen 1 mod button, light mounts to that. Mine's a Arisaka 300 series, yours is a mod light.
Yep.
Surefire tail cap, and then obviously you plug into that. So you have the ability to run this and basically still be able to index and work your light. And these are ambidextrous, so you can flip these to the other side, no problem.
Yep.
But at that point, frees up your M-LOK, my handguard's totally clean, I can run that vert grip, and I can still index my light. It is the cleanest way that I've found to run these and the other APCs.
Can you still access the charging handle?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's on that side. His, okay, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, you have it on opposite.
Yeah, opposite side of the light.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that is vert grip light, really, it works. That just works. I'm running an Aimpoint Duty RDS. This is on a 193 Battle Arms mount. You've obviously got the Acro on yours.
Yep. Yeah, the Acro on just the...
on the B&T Acro mount.
Yep. Yep. Shout out to those guys for having both the Acro and the B&T mount at NRAM and let me pick it up there. So, great stuff.
One other thing you can do, and this is really user preference. Austin has the factory grip on the gun.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do for AR grips.
Any standard.
Yep.
This is the Reptilia. It's like CQB or something like that.
Must have on a sub gun, in my opinion.
Yeah, just shortens it up. Grip. It's a better angle for me, and just I like it. That's the bottom line.
Stubbier.
Yeah, I just like it. Talk a little bit about the safety. So the B&T safety.
Standard safeties are difficult.
Their normal safeties are not great. They're really stiff. If you're a lefty, you're almost going to have to get it addressed because the left side paddle is really pretty extended. So when you take this down and you're shooting, it's going to dig. It's going to dig into the meat of your hand, okay? Yeah. So you're going to have to shave it down. 2 guns in a row now have taken my B&Ts to Alex at Trajectory Arms. It's hilarious to me. People now send their B&Ts to him to have safety jobs done to him, but he does a really good job with it. So he lightens it, just a way better safety, and he can shave down that side to just, you know, if you don't want that fat paddle on that side. Does a damn good job with it. So that's an option. Just, hey, there's a plug if you guys can take advantage of it. Beyond that, that's kind of getting these things kitted out. So I think the conversation, or you know, the question some people are going to have is, okay, well, so where does this rank in terms of this versus the APC, and even between your 2 guns? Like, is there like any clear winner here? And so let's kind of have that conversation a little. Because we asked B&T on the phone, we were like, so why would someone get the APC when this exists? Okay. 2 biggest reasons I can see: full auto rated. Does it matter? Not really, but some people
try to make an argument for
some people are going to nerd out on it, right? Yep. But mainly because there's no buffer tube. From a bag gun standpoint, there's something to be said for it. So
for the APC.
Yes. So to kind of illustrate something and to maybe leave you guys with a couple little like pro tips here. This is my typical subgun bag. This we did a video on, damn shit, maybe a couple years ago.
Year and a half, 2 years.
But this bag's actually from Cry Precision. Okay, if you look at the inside of it, it has this little kind of, I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Molly panel.
So this gun will just fit inside the bag. This is with it ever so slightly expanded at the bottom there. Not where it's gonna look goofy, but that's how it's gonna look. So this will fit. Yours is probably gonna fit a little cleaner in that.
Pretty close.
Pretty damn close. There's only maybe an inch of difference, maybe less than an inch of difference between these two in terms of overall length.
Yeah.
Not enough to write home about, but
no.
I mean, certainly if you want the extra velocity for whatever reason, I don't think it's a deal breaker with 9mm. I mean, you would go with the regular PDW. The SD, honestly, it's a purist SD, and it's great for saving money on ammo.
Just to bounce back to that bag combo real quick. So APC, because there's no buffer tube, it's simply a shorter package, okay? Yep. It is what it is.
Extra room.
Yeah, and so there's something to be said for that, right? And obviously you could take the can off and now really, so give you guys another little, this is another, which is my hippie Patagonia bag.
Gucci.
So this, frankly, as a discreet carry bag, it has a laptop sleeve in the back of it where your submachine gun will perfectly fit. And so these are fantastic bags. As a discreet bag to be able to have like a sub gun in, fantastic.
That you could also throw 2 to 3 days of closing.
Sure. So like, hey, there's a couple bags. We have videos in these, like I said, that are old. But if you're looking for the most compact within the SPC line, then the PDW is the answer.
Yep.
But those would be really the advantages to the APC. And for some people, they simply want the SOCOM contract gun.
Yeah.
So, hey, knock yourself out.
For me, I mean, I see a huge advantage of having same manual of arms as other rifles that I train with, right?
Yeah.
I can still do all my mag changes, reloads, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Charging handles, the whole nine. So, like, if I were to choose one over the other, having been a huge APC fan and having owned one in the past, I'd probably go back and choose an SPC over it because I really dig the feature of a charging handle.
Well, and think about also the ability to, if you so choose, to use the training gun to run an AR stock on it. Like that's the compatibility with AR controls on the SPC, I think for a lot of people is going to start to nudge it out.
Yeah. Put it ahead of the APC a little bit.
Also priced cheaper.
If you've been running something all day, you can just pick this up. I could hand it to Chris blindfolded and he could figure it out. It's just whatever controls you want to go for, they're there. And it's really a simple design, but kind of infinitely complex in the way that you can use it, which is great.
Features and options, huh? Yeah.
In terms of the standard PDW or the SD, man, there's not a right or wrong answer on it. Like, it's going to come down to, do you want something that sounds better? Do you want something that's better at probably putting something down?
Yep.
Because you're going to get more velocity.
Yeah, no, if you want a little bit more energy, you're going to go with the regular PDW. And if you're looking to be a little bit quieter, you're going to go with the SD. I mean, granted, it's not going to be the quietest SD you've ever heard, but it's really quiet.
Pretty damn quiet.
Damn impressive.
I mean, we shot a few mags with that ear pro on, and nobody got their bell rung. It is, I mean, we don't have a meter out here, but I would say that's pretty hearing safe.
Yep.
Oh, it's 100% comfortable. I've run mine on 124s for a significant amount of time with no ears.
Yeah, and usually even when shooting suppressed, we wear ears.
Yeah.
Today, I started with ears, and about the last 2 hours of filming, I took them off, so.
Yep.
Yeah. So the debate between, hey, do you want the SD or the PDW? I don't know. I don't think there's a right answer on it. I think I can tell you this, the SD is cooler because it's an SD.
Because it's an SD.
No, there's no right answer, but
do whatever floats your boat.
They're both good guns, and you're not going to go wrong either way.
No.
Correct. I agree.
So that said, let's take you to some final thoughts.
This is typically the portion of the video for serene, poetic finale statements. But the SPC9 isn't that type of gun. It looks nasty and it just wants to go to work. It'd be right at home in the next Sicario or John Wick 12. Does it reinvent the wheel? No. But I'm not sure the wheel needed to be reinvented. Everyone should have at least one subgun in their collection. Aside from being excellent for home defense or a truck gun or a compact travel gun, they're simply a ton of fun. For some of you, the SPC might be similar enough to your beloved AR to finally get you to enter subgun world. To reiterate an earlier statement, you know what the Swiss do well? Everything.